let's look at two more examples with factoring with the box method. So the process, I'm going to start by taking out the GCF if they have anything in common. I'm going to put the ax squared term, in the top left of a 2x2 grid. I'm going to start that grid here on the side. And in the top left, I'll put my ax squared term. In the lower right, I'm going to put my constant term. I'm going to find all the pairs of numbers that multiply to give me the a times the c. And I'm going to look for any of those that add up to the middle number b. So let's go through that process here. First thing I'm doing is I'm pulling out the GCF, and I see that the number 4 goes into 4, 20, and 16. When I do that, what I have remaining is x squared, 5x, and 4. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 4 is 16. I pulled out the 4. So what I have left is x squared plus 5x plus 4. Now you might see how to factor that already, and if you do, go for it. If you don't, and I'm doing this with the box method, I'm putting that x squared term in the top left, and I'm putting that constant in the lower right. Now my goal, and the 4 keeps coming down, my goal is to break up this x squared plus 5x plus 4 into two things multiplied together. So I'm going to list everything that gives me a multiplier to my a times my c. In this case, I have 1 times the 4, so 4. And I want them to add to that middle term, middle number there is 5. So maybe I have 1 and 4 multiply to 4. I've got 2 and 2 multiply to 4. I want it to add to 5. 1 plus 4 gives me 5 right from the start. So that's the pair of numbers that works. So inside of the box, I'm going to put these numbers, this 1 and this 4, along with the variable, in this case, x. As a final step, I'm going to factor things vertically and horizontally for anything they have in common. X squared and 4x, they both have an x in common. 1x and 4, they don't have a lot in common. In fact, only the number 1 goes into both of those things. X squared and 1x have an x in common. 4x squared and 4 have a 4 in common. Checking and multiplying it out, so x times x gives me x squared, x times 1 gives me 1x, 4x, 4 times 1, 4. So it looks like this multiplies out as x and 1 and x and 4. I'm going to do this strategy for another problem where I start by factoring out the GCF. I make this grid. X squared term is in the top left, constants in the lower right. I'm looking for numbers that multiply to a times c, but add to b. I put them in the squares, and then I factor vertically and horizontally. So let's suppose I have just another example here of 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Okay, now this one's a little bit trickier in that it doesn't start with anything in common. And I might have a harder time seeing on this one what numbers would work. So I'm going to put this 2x squared term right in that top left corner from the start. There's nothing in common that I can pull out like this nice 4. In the bottom right, I'm going to put my constant term, negative 15. And I'm going to look for things that multiply to my a times my c. 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. And I want it to add to the middle number. My middle number is negative 7. So I'm gonna go through pairs. Maybe I've got, let's try -1 and 30. That gives me 29, that doesn't work. -2 and 15. That adds up to give me 13. Closer, but doesn't work. -3 and 10, that adds up to give me a +7. Ooh, I'm on the right track. Maybe I'll try the opposite signs. Maybe I'll try +3, -10. That multiplies to -30. That gives me -7. That's my pair. Once I've found the pair that works, I'm going to put them in these two boxes. So I've got 3 with the x. I've got -10 with an x. Now I'm going to factor vertically and horizontally. 2x squared and -10x. These both have a 2, and they both have an x. -3x, 3x and -15, 3 goes into both of those. 2x squared and 3x, these both have x in common. These both have a negative. And 10 and 15 have the number 5 in common. So if I factor this, it looks like I get 2x plus 3 and x minus 5. Now the box can be used to double check my answer. 2x times x is 2x squared. That looks good. X times 3 is 3x. -5 times 2x is -10x. And -5 times 3 is -15. The 3x and the -10x, that's just another way of writing our -7x. So it multiplies out the way that it should. If you are a visual learner, and I'm a very visual person, having this sort of trick to try out while you're factoring is a great idea. Now, if you're the type of person that can look at this and jump to these answers pretty quickly, that's fine too. I'm just trying to open up your toolbox so you have as many options as possible when it comes to factoring.